How long does it really take to flip a home here in the Des Moines area? Well, today I'm breaking down real timelines for selling a flip here in the area. Not the TV version that takes 22 minutes and maybe a couple of commercials, the real version. And so if you're using hard money to flip deals, you need to know exactly how long it takes for the process start to finish. All right, so closing. Closing matters. And what I mean by that is how quickly are you purchasing a house? Some days I've seen a lot of guys buy a home in 5 days. And if you can negotiate a killer deal because you can move faster, wonderful. It doesn't help where you've negotiated an average deal and then you got to wait a month for your contractor to show up because they're busy doing other projects. In that scenario, you got to budget that. The fact that the home's just sitting empty. So understand where your contractors are. It's ideal that you line up those time frames when you can to close on the home and your contractor be ready at the same time. Understand the differences between a cosmetic deal and a full gut. Cosmetic deal, it's paint, carpet, it's probably a few light fixtures, maybe swapping out appliances. It's basic stuff. Most people in and around Des Moines, cosmetic deals sub $25,000. It's moving pretty quick. Full gut, you're taking this thing down to studs or maybe past, in some cases, just down to studs. In some cases, you're just taking it to drywall and then putting it all back together. Um, in that scenario, it could easily be 50 to for sure on the low end, $100,000 on the high end, typically. And understand the timeline. It plays an impact in what that looks like for you. My argument is that if you're going to go in there, you're going to spend a whole bunch, 4 months remodeling a full gut deal or 6 months remodeling a full gut deal. It's a lot of time, energy, and effort, and you're spending a lot more money, have more risk. You should be getting paid more, meaning that remodel should pay off at the end. So you want to understand what that time frame looks like. Listing and market timeline. What are the average days on market? And when I say average days on market, I'm not suggesting you look at all of Des Moines. I'm suggesting you look at when you're buying the property, what are my days on market for this particular home, for my comparables when I'm going into the deal, when I'm building my ARV, how long did it take those things, the comps to sell for? That gives you a much better understanding because really you're at a micro market there, especially if you could get to 6 to 9 comps, not just one or two, but you get a handful of comps that sold in the last 180 days. That'll give you a really good understanding about what the time frame looks like for your particular asset in the area it happens to be in. Pricing strategy mistakes. I see this routinely. Everybody wants top dollar. Who doesn't want to make as much money as they possibly can? But it's lying to themselves about what the ARV is and all of a sudden being X percent above where the market is, just trying to chase top dollar, or because you overinvested in the property. The market doesn't care if you overinvest in the property. The property is just worth what it's worth. So it's understanding that once in a while, the rehab, the remodel doesn't go exactly as planned. You got to price that thing to sell inside the market where other properties are transacting. All right. So closing, you've got some appraisal risk. So you want to understand that you price that thing correctly with comps, you're good to go. Inspection negotiations, it's good at the final end. You go do your final walkthrough, sign off with your contractor. It's understanding what are my potential risks as somebody comes in here and does an inspection. You want to understand that. If they're big things that would kill the thing, well, I'd suggest you probably get on the front end of that. If they're small things, well, you just budget accordingly or negotiate accordingly. So how do you shorten this timeline? Plan, pre-planning. So I mentioned that up front about what does our time frame look like to close on the property? When can contractors start? What does that scope of work look like from one contractor to finish and the next one begin? And multiple exit strategies. This is one that I see cost people 2 to 3 weeks. Is this, they know they're going to keep it as a rental and they wait to finish the whole property before they start that application process to go refinance. Well, the problem with that is an appraiser might be 2 to 3 weeks out from the day you apply for the refinance and the day your lender orders that appraisal. It's 2 to 3 weeks. Well, your home's been finished for 2 to 3 weeks in that scenario. Start that process earlier. You can always push the appraisal back. It's like impossible to move that thing up. So start that earlier. Flips are taking anywhere, what I'm seeing, from 3 to 6 months here in the Des Moines area. those who are doing cosmetic ones, and those who plan easily shorten that thing up. Even on full gut rehabs, you can shorten that thing up with proper planning. Speed protects that profit. Plan better, execute faster. And when you're ready for your next deal, I dropped a link below so you can get instantly pre approved.